Hello, this is Dr. David Billstrom, living the autoimmune lifestyle in Grand Targhee, Wyoming. Beautiful day, over a foot of snow, well over a foot of snow, so much powder, fantastic. A little sad today though, because of COVID-19, Jackson Hole didn't open up today, and Grand Targhee is actually closing down after today. Such a shame, such a shame. You know, I think I would be freaking out if the only thing I thought I could do to prevent myself getting it and giving it to somebody else was just to wash my hands and sing happy birthday and don't touch my face. Now the science says there's so much else we can do. Unfortunately, the powers that be closed down the governmental organization that was designed to deal with this. And unfortunately, the powers that be that say, well, we could never foresee this coming. Well, actually, we've been foreseeing this coming for the longest time. There's so many articles written in such powerful medical journals like the Journal of the American Medical Association, New England Journal of Medicine, Lancet out of England, talks about climate change and how we're going to have a significant increase in the amount of infectious diseases caused by infections, including, I think I've talked in one of my blogs about how much more tick-borne disease is going to be. And autoimmune disease and immune system disruption in general, infections are a huge driver of this. Thus we always test. But on the bright side, I'm going to give you some tips on how you can help more than just wash your hands and not touch your face. Such a great response to my last video that talked about even a little bit of vitamin D. So we're going to talk about how you can help your immune system keep this stuff away. So I'm going to pose a question, and the question is, so how do plants prevent viral infections? Here we are as humans, we're trying to prevent getting viral infections. Well, how do plants prevent themselves from getting viral infections? Well, plants in the plant world are amazing. So plants make their own compounds that are antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial to keep away viruses and fungus and bacteria and parasites and all that kind of stuff. Now, historically, humans have consumed these vegetables, these plants. And then now we have these compounds in our body to keep away these infections. Unfortunately, the modern world is one where humans tend to eat a lot of things that do not have these compounds because we're consuming fast foods and highly processed foods. Now, I think that is a bit of a misnomer. We call them processed foods and fast foods, where really we should be calling them food-like products. They're not really even food, they're food-like products. And we're not consuming the products, the foods that actually will give us these kind of good things, as well as vitamin and minerals and all this. So I remember a couple years ago, I love travel shows. So there was a travel show, and they were asking this medicine woman from Canada, native North American medicine woman, about how historically the tribes have dealt with health issues. And they were standing by a tree, and I think it was an aspen tree. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was an aspen tree. And she said, well, look on the outside of this tree. Here's this white powder. She wiped the tree, and here's the white powder on her fingers. She said, well, this is the tree making sunscreen for itself to protect it from the sun. And then on the inside of the bark is this kind of gooey stuff. And she said, this is the tree making compounds that are antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial. The tree is protecting itself from the sun. The tree is protecting it from infections. Unbelievably genius, right? So what I'd like to do today is I'm going to talk about a viral infection protection strategy here, on top of the wash your hands, sing happy birthday, and don't touch your face. So vitamin C. Now I'm going to let a lot of you guys look up vitamin C because it's pretty well known. So I like is a new Medica product called C750. And it's highly absorbable, so like two of them, 1500, gives you much more absorbability and amount in your system than even 2000 IU of any other one. D3 5000, also a new Medica product. I think it's safe to take 5,000 for most people. You know, ideally after about 3 months on a certain dose of vitamin D, you love to have your level checked. In a perfect world, you have your level checked before you start vitamin D. Kind of the rule of thumb is about 1,000 IU for every 10 points you're lower than ideal. Now ideally you want to be 70 to 80 or 80 to 90, some people think. So 5,000 is pretty reasonable. Now a lot of people need more than that. A lot of people, because vitamin D is a fat-soluble nutrient, have a lot of fat malabsorption, hard for them to digest the fats and proteins or carbs, but may have a little hard time getting the vitamin D absorbed into their system compared to like water-soluble nutrients. So I love the vitamin D3 5000. Probably one would be great for everybody. Get your level checked in about 2 to 3 months, and if you're still low, go up based on that kind of formula we talked about. And the third one I like in this triad is one called biocidin, liposomal biocidin. Now biocidin is a plant-based product, and it's all extracts of plants. So including, there's an extract of walnuts. So these plants with these beautiful compounds that we can get extracts from and take to try to prevent infection. So here's one called Echinacea. Now most people have heard of Echinacea. So Echinacea has antimicrobial, keeps away infections, including there's been studies using Echinacea that actually show it can get after the coronavirus. Now, it's called COVID-19 because we've seen coronaviruses all the time. There's many that we've known before. This is kind of a new strain, but Echinacea has even been studied against the coronavirus. And then there's another one called silymarin. Now, silymarin, there's a great article. This is old news. Science tells us what we need to do. We just got to listen to science. 9 years ago, they looked at silymarin and they compared it to Tamiflu, the medicine that people take for the flu, and how well does it work against influenza A. And they had this marker of how well it can stop the virus from replicating, making copies of itself. And the Tamiflu had a 52% ability to prevent replication, and silymarin had a 98% chance, or 98% ability to stop the viral replication. So almost twice as much ability to stop the viral replication in influenza A in silymarin compared to even Tamiflu. And they also said, oh, by the way, not only does silymarin do it better than Tamiflu, the usual Tamiflu way, but even at the end of the virus's ability to try to replicate itself, the set of sequence of things, it's able to knock it out even at the very end, even if once it gets kind of going. So I would love everybody to consider vitamin C, vitamin D, and biocidin. Now the biocidin as a spray, I like to kind of spray one spray in the back of my throat, let it sit there, one spray under the tongue, and then it coats the throat, but also it sits under the tongue and it gets absorbed into the bloodstream, kind of like if you're having a heart attack and you use nitroglycerin, it gets in fast. So you put it under the tongue, it gets in really fast in the bloodstream, goes all over your body to kind of kill infections, but also it kind of slowly but surely kind of gets into your throat and coats your throat, and that's kind of a nice place to go when you're trying to control upper respiratory infections. Have a lovely day. We'll talk soon. Bye now.